So, Allie, Republican senators are meeting with Hegseth today, perhaps in meetings as we speak. What are you hearing on the Hill this morning? With all this new reporting overnight, does he still have a path to confirmation?
They are in meetings as we speak right now, Anna, and on his way into the building, Hegseth was walked in basically by a group of reporters, some of them asking him about all of the new allegations that have surfaced overnight. I want to read in part, although NBC was not part of this gaggle, we've seen, of course, the video of it, and he said, Hegseth told the reporters, I spoke to the president-elect this morning, and he said, keep going, keep fighting, I'm behind you all the way. Then Hegseth, upon follow-up questions, went on to reiterate portions of the statement that Vaughn read just a few moments ago, saying that he's always been a fighter. Why would he back down now? That being said, the undercurrents here on Capitol Hill, and I imagine this is probably what Hegseth is starting to hear in his meetings, the undercurrents are starting to pull towards Hegseth having a very difficult battle ahead of him. You mentioned, Anna, the reporting that members of our team and Courtney moved overnight, that at least half a dozen senators are not inclined at this point to support Hegseth's nomination. There are also senators, including some that he's meeting with today, who have expressed skepticism in the hallway, basically telling reporters they're concerned about what they've read, they have their own questions, and they'll be asking Hegseth about them behind closed doors as they have their meetings.
Just to recap some of the allegations Hegseth is contending with here, all of which he denies. A 2017 sexual assault investigation, which ended in no charges, but Hegseth did pay an undisclosed settlement to the accuser just last year. The New Yorker just had this reporting that he was forced out of prior jobs over sexism, alcohol abuse, financial mismanagement, based on documents which NBC News has not seen. Plus, this new NBC exclusive reporting that his drinking worried colleagues during his time at Fox News. Susan, are there national security concerns that allegations like this could be exploited if he's elevated to a position like defense secretary?
Yeah, absolutely, Anna. I mean, I spoke with a very senior former Pentagon official just the other day who pointed out that it's very unlikely that he could receive any even basic clearance for any other Pentagon job, given the allegations and the conduct that has been reported. So the idea of hiring him to be the leader of the world's most powerful military is breathtaking to many national security officials. And, I think it's really notable that we're focusing, understandably, on the character issues, on the allegations of sexual assault, on the questions about his use of alcohol. Those are the kinds of things that have sunk a defense nominee before, going back to John Tower and the George H.W. Bush administration, who did not win Senate confirmation because of similar allegations. But there's also a very broad sense that Hegseth's agenda for the Pentagon would represent a dramatic rupture in how defense secretaries of both parties have approached the Pentagon. I think there's real concerns about that. It's certainly a question about Donald Trump and his presidency. What kind of vetting went on here? What is the decision making? This is already the second nominee for one of the most senior positions in the U.S. government who was apparently appointed without even the most basic of background checks. This is a pretty remarkable thing, and you can be sure that our adversaries around the world are looking at this in almost amazement, I would say, because it seems like the kind of own goal, that our adversaries dream of us making. But, we'll see what happens. It doesn't look good, I would say, right now for Hegseth.
We did get some new reporting that Trump's team has finally given the green light for the FBI background checks for some of these picks or all these picks. Susan, I want to come back to the possibility that Trump could tap DeSantis specifically to replace Hegseth as his nominee for defense secretary. We all remember just how ugly it got between these two men on the campaign trail, and Vaughn really ticked through some of those reminders for us. But Trump also already picked another former rival, Marco Rubio, for Secretary of State. I just keep thinking about how much Donald Trump prizes loyalty, right? So how do you make sense of this team of rivals possibility?
Well, I think you're right to be skeptical. We'll see. I noticed somebody yesterday posting on social media a picture of the famous meeting between Mitt Romney and Donald Trump that was allegedly a Secretary of State interview after Trump won election the first time in late 2016. Obviously, not only was Romney not the Secretary of State, but it was seen as a famous moment of Donald Trump, sort of trying to own a former rival and thorn in his side. So we'll see about DeSantis. The other thing that this reminds me of right now, Anna, is remember the embattled nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to be a Supreme Court justice. The sharks were circling a full-fledged Washington, kind of frenzy around his nomination. Reports came out that, Trump wasn't sure if he could make it or not in the end. And I think that Hegseth is following the Kavanaugh playbook of being combative, going on Fox, putting his mother out on Fox to defend him, going up to the Hill. So, we'll see if that same script can work this time again.